Last night, you dreamed. Maybe you were falling. Maybe someone you haven't thought about in years walked back into your life. Maybe you were late for something and your legs wouldn't move. You woke up, shook it off, and got on with your day. But here's the thing. That dream you dismissed in 30 seconds, your ancestor dreamed something eerily similar 40,000 years ago. And unlike you, they didn't shake it off. They built entire belief systems around it. They changed the direction of a hunt because of it. They carved it into rock walls and told it to their children like law. What did ancient humans actually dream about? The answer reaches far deeper than you expect. And it will change the way you understand what happens every single night inside your own skull. Your brain never fully sleeps. Even in the deepest stages of rest, a remarkable percentage of its neural activity continues firing. But it's during REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, that something extraordinary happens. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for logic and self-control, goes almost completely offline. The emotional and sensory regions light up instead. Your brain essentially runs a simulation with the rational editor removed. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker, author of extensive research on human sleep, describes REM sleep as a kind of overnight therapy. A state where your brain processes emotional experiences without the sting of stress hormones. The dreaming brain is not broken or idle. It is deeply, purposefully active. So what was it processing 40,000 years ago? Anthropologist David Lewis Williams spent decades studying the rock art of ancient peoples, particularly in southern Africa. What he found was not random scribbling. The recurring images, spirals, tunnels, geometric grids, therianthropes, part human, part animal beings, disembodied eyes and hands, match almost perfectly the hallucinations and dreamlike visions documented in modern sleep and trance research. Your ancestor wasn't just dreaming, they were trying to map the unmappable. Think about the world they woke up into every morning. No artificial light, no insulation from sound or cold. Predators moved at night. Illness arrived without explanation. Children died for no visible reason. The gap between cause and effect was enormous, terrifying, and filled with things that had no names. Dreams filled that gap. In virtually every documented hunter-gatherer culture, from the Aboriginal Australians to the San people of the Kalahari to the indigenous peoples of the Amazon, dreams were not considered private neurological events. They were messages, evidence, sometimes commands. A dream about a specific animal could redirect an entire community's movement. A dream about water could determine survival. A dream about a deceased ancestor could resolve a conflict between families. This was not superstition in the dismissive sense you might apply to it now. It was the best available technology for interpreting an experience that genuinely could not be explained any other way. Psychologist Kelly Bulkley has cataloged thousands of cross-cultural dream reports across history. His research identifies a set of universal dream themes that appear in ancient texts, oral traditions, and modern sleep studies alike. Falling, being chased, flying, teeth, the dead returning, being unprepared, being naked or exposed. You have had these dreams. So did they. This consistency is not a coincidence. It is evolutionary architecture. Your brain runs on the same hardware as the humans who painted the caves at Lascaux. The same hardware that produced the ancient Assyrian dream manuals, the Egyptian dream books of Papyrus Chester Beatty, the elaborate dream interpretation systems in the Vedas. Every major ancient civilization built formal frameworks for understanding dreams because dreams were too consistent and too vivid to be noise. They were signal. Consider the chase dream specifically. You are being followed. Your legs won't cooperate. The threat is nameless but real. Modern researchers propose this dream activates neural pathways originally evolved for threat simulation, a kind of rehearsal mechanism allowing the sleeping brain to practice fear responses without real danger. Sleep researcher Antti Revonsuo calls this the threat simulation theory. The idea is that dreaming evolved, in part, to keep you alive by running threat rehearsals while you were physically safe. Your ancestor didn't have a name for this, but they understood its function intuitively. Dreams were reconnaissance. Dreams were training. Dreams were preparation. This is why dreaming for much of human history was not something that happened to you. It was something you could learn to do. Now slow down. Consider that. For the vast majority of your species' existence, the dream was not a private accident of neurology. It was a communal resource. You shared your dreams. Your community interpreted them collectively. Elders held the interpretive authority. The meaning of your dream could affect where the group moved, when it hunted, who it trusted. Your dreams had political weight. This changed gradually. The Enlightenment pushed dreams toward the private, the irrational, the embarrassing. Sigmund Freud tried to reclaim them as clinical evidence, windows into repressed desire. His framework was flawed in many ways, but the instinct was ancient. He was, in his own way, doing what humans had always done, insisting that the dream meant something. Here is where it gets strange. Recent research in sleep science, particularly work coming out of Harvard's Division of Sleep Medicine, suggests that memory consolidation during sleep is not passive. The sleeping brain actively selects, prunes, and reorganizes information from the day. Dreams appear to be a byproduct, or possibly a feature, of this process, the narrative the brain constructs as it rewires itself. In other words, your dreams are not random. They are edited. But edited by what logic? By an emotional logic older than language. Your sleeping brain weights experiences by survival relevance, by threat, by connection, by loss. It replays and recombines them. It tests emotional responses. It builds associative webs between the new and the old. Your ancestor, waking from a dream about the mammoth herd moving north, didn't know about memory consolidation. But they were right that the dream was meaningful. Their brain had spent the night processing every scrap of sensory data gathered over the previous days. Tracks in mud, wind direction, the behavior of smaller animals, and had assembled those fragments into something that felt like a vision. It wasn't magic. It was processing power. And yet, even knowing this, something persists. You still wake from certain dreams with a weight that doesn't lift. You still sometimes act on what a dream told you, even without admitting it. You still sometimes feel that a dream about someone dead was a visit rather than a memory. 40,000 years of cultural evolution has not fully convinced your nervous system that dreams are meaningless. Maybe it knows something your waking mind refuses to. The cave walls at Chauvet, Altamira, and Lascaux were painted in firelight, in darkness, in the narrow overlap between the waking world and the world inside. The humans who made them were not primitive. They were you. Same brain, same needs, same terrors, same longing to make sense of what happened in the dark. Last night, you dreamed. And in the moment before you woke up, your brain was doing exactly what it has always done, running its oldest program, trying to prepare you, trying to tell you something. You just don't have anyone left to tell it to.